Well, good morning, everybody. It's the second day of the Mobile World Congress 2018. We're over here at the Mercedes-Benz booth, obviously, in Hall 6, and we're going to have a little bit more of a deep dive into MBUX, which is the Mercedes-Benz user experience that you can already actually experience over there at our kiosk systems and here in the brand new A-Class. And I would like to introduce to you from Daimler, George Messing, and from Nuance, we have Arndt Weil over here. We have a little bit of a panel discussion with both of these guys to see how these two companies are working together and how we're going to interact with the car of the future. But this is not only just about a panel discussion. Actually, we would like you guys to invite you to have a little bit more of a dynamic back and forward so you can actually ask questions. If you would just open Slido in your browser and you enter the code, the hashtag #MeFutureTalks, so you can immediately ask us question. It will arrive over here at my tablet, and then we're going to go from there. So let's just gather around here, the table here, with the two of you guys. Would you like to get behind it? Fantastic. George, tell us a little bit about what you are doing exactly at Daimler.
First of all,
That works.
also from my side, ladies and gentlemen, so a warm welcome to the Mercedes-Benz stage. So I'm George Messing, the head of user interaction and software within the Mercedes-Benz car group. And my team and I have developed and built the Mercedes-Benz user experience, MBUX, which I hope you guys have or will experience in our vehicle or in one of our booths. So this is a really an easy to use, extremely easy to use system with a very great graphical 3D graphic design. So a system that is intelligent, so updatable, so and that has one of my favorite and best feature, which is a natural language understanding, which we build with a great partner, so Nuance.
Well, that was actually already a great introduction, not only for MBUX, but also for Arndt and Nuance. Arndt, tell us a little bit about what you are doing at Nuance.
Yeah, Arndt Weil is my name. I'm the Automotive Business Unit Manager. Nuance is known for the speech company. And as a matter of fact, I've been working professionally on speech technologies all my life. Even 30 years back at the university, working first time on speech recognition with first neural networks, etc. Then worked at German Telecom, the speech research and clinical dictation, ended up with Nuance. And in that time, we started almost 20 years ago what is called the embedded speech business, which more and more we identified the automotive field, the car, as the ultimate platform where speech makes a lot of sense. For 10 years now, we have the business unit automotive that is focusing on working with the car makers to evolve the speech interaction between the human and the car. So very intense interaction, especially in the last months. Thanks for that. And certainly thanks for having me here on this panel.
Well, that's interesting. Let's go from there, actually, how you guys kind of came together and, you know, what kind of ideas and experience you've had of. It's not very usual that an automaker is working together with a company that is all about speech recognition and a field that a Nuance is so well known in for ages.
I think the first idea was, and the surprise also from both our company, was when we put our designers and then just gave them a white paper. So from our people within Daimler, they are used to have a huge specifications pages. The people at Nuance are willing to receive it and just build something as per design. So this was the first tremendous change that we had in our interaction, that we just told to the people, hey, here is a white paper, and just bring us the greatest speech that we can ever have in a car. So
yeah,
That
And
must be an amazing starting point for you guys, right?
It was a real game changer. I mean, we have been working together, the companies, for 20 years. Actually, the first speech system ever was in a Daimler, announced at the IAA in 1997. So we had traditionally worked with you, delivered the spec to the tier ones talking to us, we implemented. But here, nobody can really specify a virtual assistant like the MBUX up front with having everything on paper specified. So the collaboration has to change a lot more. Innovation has to come in much faster. The agile development has to really be lived and breathed with all the pros and cons and all the pains, but all the success at the end.
So voice assistants are obviously Arndt's bread and butter on a daily basis. But what about Mercedes? What's kind of new for you guys to work with a new voice assistant compared to other products? I mean, MBUX isn't only about voice assistant. We also have, the whole user experience, the visual user experience over there. But the voice assistant is a little bit different.
I mean, the difference in the voice assistants is really, when we thought about it, we see the voice as a personal DNA, of our vehicle. So, and people used to ask us, hey, just take one of those available out there and implement them in your car. And I'm always saying, this is as if I'm asking, or you are asking me to imitate your voice and start talking as you. It will not be my personality anymore.
Right.
So this was the thinking here behind it, and why we did it the Mercedes way was, hey, we want to have a personality, we want to have something really dedicated. This is Mercedes.
Yeah.
So, and this was the push that we had behind it, and the flexibility that Nuance allowed us to build this system was what improved our relation here.
And that's the difference between traditional voice interfaces that were at best useful, you can get things done, but yeah, not everybody likes it. Many people don't like it, some do, they find it useful. But here, this is now the move from it's useful, it works, to people love it. It's becoming a central piece of the car.
Yeah.
The emotional link, if you look at technologies, because we voice enable a lot of technologies, but the emotional link to the car is certainly stronger than on most other technology devices. So people give cars a name or what, so now you can interact like with a friend and so on, and that's a fundamental difference.
Exactly.
That's almost an outlook into the future of a voice assistant. Can you tell us a little bit what's next for them? I mean, we all know that the performance of the silicons and the platforms, the hardware platforms, are increasing on a yearly basis. So are there additional limitations that you have? I think obviously a network infrastructure isn't a problem whatsoever because it's all happening locally on the platform itself.
Yeah, so it's really the intelligence that is added to on. When you look at how humans and now also machines starts to recognize things and build in intelligence, the first layer is the voice recognition. That has been there, that's improving. It has moved from small vocabularies to large vocabularies, huge vocabularies, like all POIs of China or all of the US or whatever. So that's one thing. But then the natural language understanding, that was the next layer, and it's heavily built in here as well. Not only from the server side, from the cloud, but in the car, even in itself, even without any connectivity. There is a lot of understanding of what the meaning is, not only what the words were. If the user says, I'm cold, okay, just put the temperature up a little bit. But then on top of that, there is the AI layer, which now adds a lot more contextual intelligence based on all the information and data and knowledge that is available, either from the car, like sensors, or from the personal knowledge, so about my preferences, my company petrol card, so it knows which petrol station I'm preferring to take, etc., and domain/world knowledge that is added to that. All of that now makes the intelligence of a system.
Perhaps let me add something to the question and the limitation of the system. I always use pattern to explain things. So one of the first interaction a kid learn before writing and doing something else is speaking. So when you are now talking about, is there any limitation on this system? Is as if you are asking, oh, are we going to be able not to talk to each other in the future? So for me, this is like, there is no limitation in this system. This system is, I mean, it's tremendous. Voice assistant will be something that will really deep increase and get into our domain as our normal life. So this is what we are doing first. This is what we are, when we want to interact, when we want to express our behavior. The people understand when I'm hungry, or when I'm happy, or when I'm excited, like I am at the moment, the way I'm talking. So this is exactly, it's an expression of almost different emotions.
You know what's really puzzling me? The first time I've heard about Ask Mercedes and that we're going to implement a voice assistant, I was trying to get my head around the fact that each and every visitor at Mobile World Congress has probably a smartphone in his pocket with a voice assistant. So why do we need an additional one in a Mercedes?
As I said in the beginning, the DNA is Mercedes. So it's me. So it's not Arne. It's me talking now. And the way I'm talking, I'm George. So, and Arne, the way he's talking will be Arne. So yes, we know the different other kinds of voice assistants that are available out there into the market. And of course, we cooperate with all those partners as well. And we have integrated some of those, so either from home to car. And but what we believe is that when you are in a Mercedes vehicle, so you should have something specific and something dedicated to Mercedes as in DNA.
And it's fully integrated.
Yes.
So one thing Daimler can do that nobody else can do in a Daimler car is they can combine all the sensor fusion, the information. You could even add more intelligence by putting a camera in, so you know where the driver or passenger is looking at. And if the question is, what's the rating of this restaurant while looking out of the window, the system can respond to it, even without somehow specifying what I mean or what.
The system understands the context in where we are.
And that's where the car maker, it's their domain. They own their assistant.
Yeah.
And the other part is, which assistant would a car maker pick? I mean, there are so many assistants, you can't just rely on one of them. You don't know which one is still trendy in 5 years from now. Look at China, like Tencent, Baidu, everybody uses it for search. Tencent, everybody uses it for WeChat. Alibaba, everybody uses it for telematic services and payment. You have to integrate all as a car maker. And that's why we don't build any assistant. There's no nuance assistant for automotive. Our mission is to provide a platform that allows a car maker to build an assistant that can integrate other assistants in that concept.
So in general, what you guys are saying is basically that the usage scenario in a car is so defined that it just makes perfect sense to have a specific voice assistant or an assistant in the car.
Yes, this is exactly what we're saying. And the second message is with a partner like Nuance, who is giving you a platform that enables you in case, so different users have specific voice assistants at home, you can even integrate those within our overall system. So this is the greatest working relationship that we have.
And you mentioned already, we are just open to other players in this field. We had already an implementation of Google Home and Alexa last year, and we're definitely just moving forward from this and trying to be open to all these other standards that are out there.
Exactly.
So was it somehow different for you guys to kind of adopt this idea? I mean, Nuance when you see the user scenario that you have in a car, the way people are interacting with their car, what are going to be the standard questions that you're going to ask a voice assistant in a car compared to what you're going to do with it on your phone. How much of a difference is this in general?
Yeah, it's we have the experience from other fields, like we have enterprise-based assistants, we have mobile assistants, but in the car you have a different context. First of all, it's about the car itself, a conversation about functions in the car, the status of the car, navigating things in the car, and then the key automotive domain, which is all around the trip. And that is the core domain that becomes part of the in-car experience, really from I'm not even in the car to I'm getting where I want to be, and during that period I want to not be blocked out of the rest of the world. So I want to have my communication, my mobile office integration, I want to get my notifications, I want to get my phone calls done, I want to find my destination, search for a destination. Actually, the car can recommend me a destination if I don't know where to go. So if I find a good restaurant close to here, there is a lot of contextual information the car has more than anything else.
Yeah. So for the last 10 years, whenever I came to Mobile World Congress, it was all about the cloud and cloud computing. And at that time, it was about 4G or even WiMAX before. And now we're finally starting to see 5G maybe kicking in by the end of the decade. Can't we just all kind of put it into the cloud? Why is it so important to actually have it functionally on the car, on the platform itself?
Actually, the system we have is a hybrid system. So we have an embedded system, and we have, in addition, something in the cloud. I mean, we are coming from Germany, and when you're driving through the Black Forest and you have no connectivity, we still want to be able to provide some of the nice, greatest services to our users. So I can't tell to the user, oh, sorry, we have no connectivity at the moment, that's why you are not able to start your navigation. Or you are somewhere underground, so in a parking lot and have no connectivity and want to start the navigation. So those are things you can do with an embedded system. So that's why we decided here to go and build a hybrid system. So use everything that you can have within the car, and all the car functions that are not necessarily built up in the cloud, but also take advantage of the big knowledge pool and the domain that are outside there in the cloud.
Yeah, and it's a key thing that the car itself and the devices itself will become intelligent. And think about autonomous driving. An autonomous car can't stop operating when it lost connectivity, or when a drive is in the garage basement level -3. It still is an intelligent device. So the trend is already there, and then not having an assistant that is intelligent and natural wouldn't make any sense. And there are even new features that require that. So data privacy is another big argument for the embedded part. We already have a system in place technology-wise, and it's coming on the road also fairly soon. We call it Just Talk. So you don't even have to say, hey, Mercedes or whatever. You don't need to press a button. The system is always listening. You can only do that with the embedded technology. Yeah. Obviously, you can't stream the whole conversation all the time to the cloud. So that's particularly we had over a decade of focus on enhancing that embedded technology.
Well, it's actually a fantastic bridge to my next question, because, I mean, the buzzword that came after cloud computing was probably AI. So even Google, like during the last Google I/O, they changed their mantra from mobile first into AI first. So what kind of idea should we get from AI, especially in context of what does AI mean in context of an automotive assistant?
So for us, if we look at all the different verticals, it was more and more automotive driving our AI agenda. The car, if you think about it, is the ultimate AI platform today. It is a moving robot. It has all the sensor information and sensor fusion. There is an emotional tie to a virtual assistant. So all of that makes sense. What we actually built in terms of the third level above voice recognition and natural language understanding is in the AI layer, the contextual reasoning and contextual understanding and personalization, so that it really becomes your personal device and interaction and car.
And I think one area where the artificial intelligence help us here is really in the huge amount of data and the information we are now gathering and that we are able to process. So this is something that you can now better do with artificial intelligence.
Let me pick up a question from the audience, because this is actually quite interesting after we've already talked a little bit about Google Home and Alexa. Just basically, how far will the Mercedes voice assistant go with regards to integrating ecosystems? Do you need Google Home or Alexa in the future?
Our customer need it. So there is something you have to understand the overall ecosystem of the users. So my belief is our customer need those ecosystems, and what we have to be able to do as Mercedes is to bring this intelligence that enable the user to talk to all his different assistants or devices, so in a very seamless way.
When we look a little bit into the future, and we're talking a lot about self-driving cars, so what kind of role does a voice assistant, an intelligent voice assistant, play in the context of an autonomous car? Am I going to tell the voice assistant basically, okay, just bring me from A to B and there you go? This is like the concept of the future of mobility?
So there will be two obvious differences in an autonomous scenario. One is there is no driver per se, so you can spend productivity time. So mobile office integration and productivity applications will be more prominent in the future. The second part, the interface, is not just between driver and car anymore. It's about a multi-seat, multi-screen scenario where the interaction between multiple passengers and the car matters. And that can change. So you have different zones where individually everybody can talk with his own way, whatever he's doing, to the screen, to the car, or there is a joint scenario like a conference call in the car or a joint entertainment, a game, whatever.
And there is something else happening. So in an autonomous driving mode, you have like somebody who is still looking at the system and giving you advice, giving you information, telling you when you may have to take over, giving you advice of something that is happening, giving you advice of perhaps that you receive a message, or reminding you on something that you may need or you may have to do, like a stop for a gas station. So this is how the voice assistant will be integrated within the whole driving experience of the user in the future.
I mean, when we look around what happened in the last decade on the mobile technology market, so when you see the phones back in when the first iPhone came out and how they look like right now, you see this amazing pace in terms of innovation, in terms of new technologies coming to the market, which is just kind of uncomparable, because we have a new flagship phone like every 12 months, and each and every new phone is better, of course, than the previous one. And they're getting more expensive, of course, too. What's the biggest challenge for an OEM and a supplier in general to kind of keep up with this pace, to kind of not lose the grip on this?
I mean, one big thing is that really keeping up in technology, and that's why I'm no longer used to call suppliers. So we have partners. So we as an OEM have to keep an eye on the technology age and what is happening out there into the market. And our partners also have to keep themselves up to date, so to the different technology, and be able to adapt also to the different. I mean, if you're going around here, you see so many new companies also acting in the area, in the field in which we are working on at the moment. So for us as partners, is very important to understand. So where is the technology going? How easy can we use and adapt and integrate this technology? And for us, specifically in the automotive market, we have to change our cycle time. So it's no longer like every 3 years, every 6 years bring something new. So it's now like, it may be every month, every quarter.
Is it a more modular approach in general?
Exactly. So and you have to build your platform the way that is able exactly to react as fast as the technology is evolving.
Yeah,
Anything?
George is giving us enough challenge to keep the pace. At the end, for us, it's about focus. We focus on that automotive assistant, the automotive domain. In those, if we focus on it, we can be better than anyone else through that focus. And the other part is the early engagement on the design, being designed in as the OEM partner. So that has also been a key to success in the A-Class.
I like this. It's a great closing words to be exactly just focus. Guys, thank you so much for joining us over here. And if you really would like to try it out, we actually have 3 demo units. So these 2 open demo units over there with MBUX, and of course you can also try this in the real world with the brand new A-Class. Thank you so much for joining us. And if you want to know what Ask Mercedes is capable of, we actually have quite an interesting video for you. Thank you.
King is back. Oh yeah.
Hi, Mercedes.
Yes, please.
I want some German bread.
Please select an entry.
Hi, Mercedes. It's too hot in here. Can we make it more East Coast?
I am setting the temperature to 62 degrees.
Why is there a wedding chapel in your suggestions?
Hi, Mercedes. Navigate me to what 3 words? Drive, single, beast.
Hi, Mercedes. Where did Jeff drive us last night?
Tattoo shop, Las Vegas.